The Rework Toshi Sling V2 just dropped in 3 freaking sizes. And in this video, we're gonna tell you everything you need to know about these slings. We're gonna compare V2 to V1, let you know what changes have been made. We're gonna pack out all 3 versions so you can see the size that best suits your needs. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite sold on the Rework Toshi Sling V2, I'll make some alternative sling recommendations. And the recommendations will be close to these slings, but have some key differences. Because here at Nomadization, our goal is to help you find the best bag for your needs. Let's talk about the gist of the Rework Toshi Sling V2. Rework is a fascinating carry brand as to where they launched a backpack, it did okay, but then they launched their Toshi Sling and their Toshi backpack, and these have been crushing over the past few months and years. It's like these usually like captured lightning in a bottle. And as to where like the Toshi pack crushed, but this sling in particular has been one of the most hyped up and talked about bags from a company I've seen in a long time. And there's really good reason why. Let me show you some of the top features. We've got a front flap that conceals the front zipper. Another zippered compartment to the north of that. The main compartment, which has got a minimal but effective amount of organization. A zippered back pocket. A hidden external carry system at the bottom, which I've got a lot of thoughts on. We'll talk about that in a bit more depth 2 to 3 chapters from now. And the bag's got multiple attachment points, therefore allowing you to configure the bag to be worn in whatever way best fits your torso. Now let's talk about the different sizes. We got a 2.5 liter, a 5 liter, and a 6 liter. But here at Nomadization, we always double check advertised capacity, starting with the 2.5 liter. For the main compartment, we're coming in at 2 liters on the dot. So if you add in the 3 other pockets, I think 2.5 liters is a pretty safe bet. Main compartment for the 5 liter, fully packed out. It's coming in at, I'll call it 3.5 liters. So adding in the other pockets, I think it's 5 liters, but definitely a tighter 5 liters. And then the main compartment for the 6 liter, fully packed out, coming in at 4 liters. So again, I think we can hit 6, but again, it's gonna be a tight 6 liters. Let's talk dimensions. The 2.5 liter is 10 inches wide, 6 inches tall, and has a fully packed out depth of 3.5 inches. The shoulder strap setting is around 25 inches, but we'll actually call it 29 with this side. And then the longest, looking at 45 inches plus the extra 4, call it 50 inches. For the 5 liter, 11 inches width, 7.5 inches height, and a fully packed out base depth of just under 5 inches. The shoulder strap length is around 25 inches. Plus 4 on the other side, we're at 29 inches again. And the longest setting, we're at around 47 inches, plus 4, so 51. And for the 6 liter, we got 13 inches width, 8 inches height, and a fully packed out depth of 5 inches. Now for carrying the 6 liter, the harness system's a bit different as we have a padded shoulder strap. If we take that off, we've got the shortest length of 25 on this side, plus 4 is 29, and the longest being 48 inches, plus the 4, so that's 52 inches in total. V2 of the Toshi Sling only comes in black. This is the 2.5 liter when it's empty, and this is the 2.5 liter when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomadization team. Margaret's 5'2", I'm 5'8", and Jason Bagmoa, he's 6'2". This is the 5 liter when it's empty, and here it is again on the Nomadization squad. And this is the 6 liter when it's empty, and one last time on the Nomadization crew. All Rework products are protected by their lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, the 2.5 liter runs 79 USD, the 5 liter is 89 USD, and the 6 liter is 109 USD. And if at any point during this review you're thinking about making a purchase, we do recommend doing so using the first links in the description below. Reason being, those links make sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But those links also help to support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Now, before we start packing these slings out, let me first show you what changes have been made between V1 and V2, because we have some interesting updates that I've got a few opinions on. So here's V1 and here's V2. First update, the carrying strap has been updated. The V1 strap used a super cheap and kind of crappy nylon webbing, but V2 has a serious upgrade in terms of quality. Much silkier, much more premium, but that could also be a con because a fabric like this is gonna be much less grippy, which means that V2 might slide around on your clothes a little bit more, but not in a way it's a big deal for me. Like all day, this upgrade awesome, much appreciated. The next change is that on V1, we used a traditional G-hook gatekeeper. And on V2, we've got this new gatekeeper, which, look at that. I'm not saying it's super easy to pop on and pop off, but you just go ahead and push it sideways like that, and then the actual metal part of the hardware just pops open, and it is so much better than the original version. I hate these bits of hardware. Like, I have pained my fingers so many times over the years trying to open these. God, go to hell, you're dead to me. Big upgrade as well. Now, the third change is the one that I think is gonna get the most noise in the carry community, which is on V1, there was no top handle, and on V2, we totally have a top handle now. You hear that noise? That is a bunch of carry nerds around the globe singing songs of praise and joy for how happy they are that the Toshi Sling finally has a top handle. You can go on Reddit and see that people have been modding and like sewing their own top handles into these bags. But no more, Rework's got your back. I've got a few things to say about the top handle. We'll talk about that in the next chapter. But let's talk about the update that I think is most interesting. That's the fact on V1, we used a 420D nylon, but on V2, we're using an 840D nylon. Now, both of these nylons, they're not cheap, but they're not like great nylons. They're not Cordura. They don't have that butteriness to them that a premium nylon will give you. But I will say that the 840 feels better. Now, I don't know if it's a different manufacturer, could be a different weave, but if it's the same quality, I think Rework made a master move here as to where it just feels more premium jumping from the 420 to the 840. The weave on the 840 just gives it a nicer look and a nicer feel. Well, I'm sure for Rework, keeping their prices still pretty low as to where like this is not like a name brand fabric. And honestly, I just love the way it feels. It helps to also, because of the thickness of the fabric, give the bag just a little bit more structure. V1, it's been real. You can retire into the sunset now. And now we're gonna talk about the outside of the Rework Toshi Sling V2. Now for the outside section, we're gonna be showing a lot of shots of me using the sling outside. And most of those shots are gonna be of the 5-liter version. Now here at Nomadization, the first thing we talk about in this chapter is the aesthetic of the sling, which I'll admit, like, I'm a fanboy of Rework. Like so much that like I reached out to them. Fun fact, Rework is owned by a brother and a sister who live in California. And I love their stuff so much that I reached out to them and I was like, yo, I wanna get you on the Nomadization podcast. And we had a great time and I learned so much about their brand. It's one of my favorite podcast episodes that we've ever done on Nomadization. I'm gonna go ahead and link that above if you wanna check it out. So even though I'm a bit of a Rework fanboy, I'm just gonna say, I don't love the aesthetic of this sling. I don't think it looks like super sexy. It's got a frumpiness to me, and this visor right here, I'm just not crazy about, which I know is a little hypocritical because like I made my own backpack that has like sort of the same unibrow like visor, dead center as well. But overall, I just think it's important to say that if you're in the market for a new sling and you want it to be super sexy, I don't think this is the best option on the market. But overall, I just think it's important to note that if you're in the market for a new sling, but you want it to be like super sexy, I don't think this is the greatest option out there. This bad boy is all about function. And I was talking to Margaret, our media manager here at Nomadization, earlier, and we're trying to figure out like what's so magical about this sling. And really, it's the fact that all the features this sling has exist independently on other slings, but no one sling has all those features, all that function just packed into one. And that's why this sling has sort of lit the carry community on fire as to where Z, who designed the sling, he's a carry nerd. Like he's in the many baggers community, he's reading the comments, and he's like a man of the people. And this is the sling of the people. Fabric, I already talked about it. Big upgrade with the 840D. If you don't know, nylon is a miracle material for bags. It's really abrasion resistant. It's got a bit of weather resistance as well. I get a little bored with it sometimes because I've seen it on so many bags, but if it's not broken, don't fix it. Now we're gonna talk about all the internal sections in the next chapter. But first, let's talk about the top handle, a welcome addition. And it's basic, guys. Like this is just the same nylon webbing that's used on the strap. So it's really nice quality, but like there's not a lot to it. There's no padding, there's no tricks. It's sewn into either side, but that's it. It's easy peasy, but I do think some people are gonna wish that it wasn't quite so flush. You can see like it is right there and it just makes it a tight handle, especially when this sling is fully packed out. I swear, I think Rework's gonna get some complaints from people in the carry community wishing that we just had a bit more grabbing space. Because the whole goal of a handle like this is not really carrying it in briefcase mode, right? You're not gonna be waltzing around the city, like skipping and singing with your Rework Toshi in hand. It's really when you're using it in tech pouch mode, it's in your backpack, at the bottom of the bag. It's just kind of hard to grab. You don't wanna like grab it like this. You use the top handle. And for those reasons, I do think the top handle could have been executed a little bit better, but definitely can admit I'm splitting hairs here. It's great to have. Nice addition. Now, before we get into the harness system, let's talk about these bad boys on the bottom. As to where they are included with the sling and they stow away magnetically into the bottom here. You can see this one is engaged, but this one is hidden. And these allow you to carry things externally on the bottom of the Toshi Sling. Namely, most people are gonna put an umbrella or a water bottle or maybe a jacket, but what you can carry on the bottom of the sling will vary depending on the size of the sling and how packed out it is. I will display what I mean by that in the next chapter. See you in a minute. In the meantime, let's talk about the harness system. Now, this bag has a bunch of external lash points. Here, and at the top as well. These lash points are great for clipping things on externally to your bag, like if you want some hand sanitizer. Or like our media manager, Margaret, she likes to decorate her bag with charms. They're little adorable like toys and Not my thing, but if that's your thing, you know, the external lash points in this bag will come in clutch for you. But it also allows you to customize how you wear the shoulder strap. And the shoulder strap kicks for so many reasons. Love the new fabric, love the Woojin hardware. If you don't know, Woojin's one of the best hardware makers in the game. They're my personal favorite over Duraflex. And then obviously the new hooks that we talked about earlier as well. And then with all the lash points, you can decide wherever you want to attach the shoulder strap to best fit you. And overall, that gives you a lot of modification options. And it makes the bag so much more comfortable. And it's already like a really comfortable bag because it's very malleable. It's not very thick and like brick-like. There's not a lot of unnecessary padding. Although I will say the 840D does give it a bit thicker of just like a feel and a vibe. But also, if you don't want to wear it in sling mode for the day, you can pop the strap off, toss it into the main compartment, and then boom, the Toshi Sling has transformed into the Toshi Tech Pouch. But really the functionality of this sling is gonna be on full display in the next chapter where we start packing it out. But before I do, I gotta say, if you're watching this review, there's a good chance that you're a bit of a bag nerd, or at least a gearhead. And if so, I'd like to welcome you to the Nomads Nation channel and let you know that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic bag reviews on YouTube, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me like your reporter in the field for what's happening in this incredible world of carry, EDC, and travel gear. I'm really proud of the newsletter. We write it once a week, and I'm bringing like straight to your inbox the biggest news, the biggest drops, the coolest industry trends, and you get access to our exclusive discount codes and giveaways. Honestly, there's no other newsletter like it in the world. I'm really proud of it. And if you'd like to check it out, you can do so by finding this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, let's talk about the inside of the Rework Toshi Sling V2. All right, let's start with the 2.5 liter and see what it can fit. Back pocket, ideal for a wallet or a passport or boarding pass, whatever's thin, right? Doesn't have like a thick profile, can stay against your torso. Perfect spot for it, easy to access. Moving on, let's talk about the 1-2 front pockets. The first pocket has this storm flap on it. It gives it a bit of extra weather resistance and a different aesthetic. Like I said, it's not my cup of tea, but a lot of people like it. Then when you get in, you have something right here that I love that Rework does. And these are external lash points inside the bag as to where you can move your keys around. It came on mine attached to the external lash point here, but you can connect it from here to here, or you can just take your keys and pop them on wherever you want. I promise you, all bag makers will be doing this in the next 2 years. They'll slowly all catch on. Right now it's Rework, Tombin, Firo. There's a couple others too that slip my mind right now. But in terms of just modifying your bag so you can carry what you want, where you want it, that's awesome. In this pocket, we can also fit protein bar, some tissues, and your AirPods, as the pocket actually has some decent volume and capacity. In the pocket above, great spot for your glasses. Here's a note too about the Toshi slings in general, is to where this lining, it's okay. It gets the job done. I love the color as it helps to create a highlight effect inside the bag. But this is one of the things about Rework that I think is maybe a little blown out of proportion is the value you get with them. As to where, keep in mind, we have YKK zippers in Woojin hardware, which is great at the price point, but these are non-name brand fabrics. This isn't Cordura and like a really high quality, sexy internal fabric. These are just kind of middle of the road. In the main compartment, we have a tech sleeve, 4 power mesh pockets, and a hidden AirTag slot on the opposite end. iPhone 13 fits nicely there. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets, like I said, and what's cool about these pockets is the back pockets go all the way down, but the front pockets are actually elevated, therefore allowing you to keep your AirPods, let's say, more accessible at the top of the sling. But while this does increase accessibility for smaller bits of gear, it does limit the ability to put larger bits of gear in those pockets. Got my little tape measure, and you can see we're really, packing this thing out. I can probably fit my hard shell glasses case on top. Sunglasses I'll put back in there, and that's the 2.5 liter in all of its glory. A couple small things in the front, sunglasses at the top, wallet in the back, and the main compartment packed to the brim. Then at the bottom, we're gonna engage now the stowable compression strap. They're a little bit of a to get on, not gonna lie. I think that hopefully on V3, maybe they come up with an even better system of clipping it on, because this is not always my favorite. Little cumbersome, if I do say so myself. Okay, got it. And then you can go ahead and slide that umbrella underneath, tighten it in place, and that is the 2.5 liter ready for a day in the city. Fun fact, Toshi means city in Japanese. And I gotta say, with that umbrella sleeve underneath, this is a city sling that's ready to rock and roll. Let's say you wanna keep yourself hydrated. This is where these compression straps are good, but this is not the most secure way to carry a water bottle on a sling, I think. It's okay, it works. It's a little iffy on the 2.5 liter at least. I think it's a bit better on the 5 and 6 liter, but it also depends on the size of water bottle you have. I think like a longer and more slender and sleeker water bottle will be a better fit on the bottom of the sling. All right, let's quickly pack out the other 2 sizes so you can see how much they fit. So this is everything we had just fit into the 2.5 liter. Let's see how it fits into the 5 liter. Let's do the little fast forward sound here. Okay, this is everything that the 2.5 liter fit, and as math would lead you to assume, we got basically double the amount of space. And the 5 liter is great because it gives you just a bit more carrying capacity, so you can throw a 24-ounce Columbia water bottle in there. But space is a little limited if you got a lot of harder tech stuff. So if I remove though my big bulky battery, boom. Now you can see Columbia water bottle fits like a glove. And what's also great in the tech sleeves, you can fit larger things. Will my book fit? Absolutely. And I think my Sony XM5s will also fit. So boom, it's really important to see sort of what's happening here as to where the 2.5 liter is really just a pocket reliever. You're not fitting really bulky items in there. So if you do want to carry larger bits of gear in your sling, think, big ass headphones, water bottle, maybe even a larger tablet, that's when you got to upgrade to the 5 liter or the 6. So this is everything that the 5 liter fit. Let's put it in the 6. And ooh, one difference to be aware of. In the 6 liter version, the front pocket is so large that Rework added 2 power mesh pockets inside for a bit of extra organization. So for the 6 liter, we got everything in there, headphones as well, no problemo, and it just gives you that little bit of extra room. So you wanna put your phone in there as well. We might even fit the hard shell glasses. Yeah, I mean, as you would expect, with each size, you get a bit more capacity. For me, the 6 is gonna be just too big and bulky, but the 5 and the 2.5 are awesome. I'm a bit more of a 2.5 liter guy as I just kind of want the pocket reliever. I want something a little bit smaller on me. I'm also a smaller dude, I'm only 5'8". But I will say, if you do carry those heavier loads, the shoulder pad on the 6 liter version is a very welcome addition as to where it's very well padded. Got a nice silky power mesh at the bottom, and it'll just make it a more comfortable wearing experience. I'm really happy they didn't add this to the smaller slings, but for the 6 liter, it's a good call. Let's start wrapping this up and give the Toshi V2 slings our overall scores. For comfort, 4.5 out of 5. It's everything I want in a sling as to where it's malleable, it's lightweight, it's not too heavy, and the shoulder strap gives you plenty of versatility to make it fit your body type. I take it back. 5 out of 5. Perfect rating. You cannot find a sling more comfortable than this. Next rating is the value. Let's give it a 3.5 out of 5. Not that this is expensive, but if you look at slings by Evergoods, Bellroy, and Aer, you're either at the same price point or they're just slightly higher. I would be like, yo, this is a value like a steal if it was, 20% cheaper, but at the price point, I think it's a really good value. And for my overall score, I'm giving the Rework Toshi Slings a 4.5 out of 5. They're brilliant. They're not the sexiest looking slings in the world. They can get a little blobby, but that aside, like it's hard to fault them for anything else. They're incredible, and job well done to the entire Rework team. But just to clarify, here at Nomads Nation, our overall scores are not like scientific methodologies. It's just based on our personal usage of the bags. Thank you. Now let's also briefly go over the overall pros and cons of the Rework Toshi Sling V2. Pro number 1 is going to be all the functionality and features that this sling offers. Pro number 2 in particular, I think that the bottom compression straps, they're great. They're so versatile. And pro number 3 is that it's one of the few slings that has 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets, which for you organizational nerds out there, you love it. You might want a 5th pocket. You're like, could we do more? But I do think 4 is enough. We're stopping here. But on the flip side, with the cons of this sling, con number 1 is, in my opinion, it's not the sexiest sling in the world. Con number 2 is that all the features might seem like a little overkill to your average user. And con number 3 is, while I like the fabrics, I do think at the price point they could be a bit better. But just a reminder, if you're still here watching this, which God bless you, because I've been ranting a lot in this video. I'm so excited about this sling. But if you're still here, there's a good chance you're thinking about picking up one of these bags, or you want to learn more information. And if that's the case, we do request doing so with the first links in the description below, just because those links make sure that you get the best price. And if we have any discount codes, that's what it'll be. But you also might be sticking around because I talked about those alternatives earlier in the video. Let's quickly chat about them. First up, if you're new to the Nomads Nation channel, I really suggest watching our leaderboard video. This is where myself and the whole Nomads Nation team, we get together and pick our favorite bags in different bag categories. Slings included, and it's cool because everyone has different picks and different needs and different preferences. So this video is a really good idea to see different perspectives and get, the best idea of what's on the market. I went ahead and linked that above. But if we're pretty close with the Rework Toshi Sling, here's 2 alternatives that might better suit your needs. First up is the Aer Day Sling 3. I brought this up a few times in the video, and I think that it's close to the Rework Toshi in terms of its capacity, the thickness of the strap, the city vibes, but just in a way that's a bit more elevated and a bit more premium, but also a little less feature heavy. And my second alternative recommendation will be the Bellroy Bencher Sling. Great pick for you if, again, you're looking for a sling around this size, but if you're paying the money, you kind of want more premium look and feel. Not as many features, but a simpler user experience, and just kind of Bellroy's own little magic. They're really good at making slings, Bellroy, but so is Aer. And so is Rework. All these bags, lab. It's hard to pick. We can only guide you in the right direction. But if you want to learn more about the 2 alternatives that we recommend, you can go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.